So, good afternoon, it's 4 o'clock in Switzerland, good midday and good morning wherever you are on this planet. We are here at the PMA manufacturing site where we produce PMA cable protection systems made of plastic, and today we would like to share with you our experience, expertise about using PMA cable protection systems in rail infrastructure applications. But first things first. And first thing is our top priority and our number one priority, and that is health and safety. Health and safety. What do we understand under health and safety? Principally, it's very simple. It's just saying our people come to work in the morning, healthy, and go back in the evening, back home to their family and their loved ones in the evening, healthy. Maybe more tired, that's what I hope at least, because they did a lot of work for us to manufacture the cable protection system for you at the end. It's also kind of easy to do the principal things in health, like I'm doing with the safety vest here, that everybody sees me when I'm here in the production, wearing some glasses, make sure if something comes from somewhere, not hurting my eyes, but also with the shoes, you see these are these special shoes with the safety cap on it, so I'm protected when something is happening. Like I was saying, our number one and top priority, health and safety. After the top priority is our loved cable protection system. Here you see how we manufactured our corrugated conduit. So there is an extruder, a corrugator, and we are producing all these different conduits in 5 days, 24 hours, especially for you. We do this from the small size, which you see from the left-hand side, all the way to the big sizes. Also, when you look around, you don't see too many people here because we are highly automated. We are producing these products here in Switzerland, in Uster, outside of Zurich, and you can imagine we have to be highly automated so that you get not only the best stable quality, but also for the right price at the end. So let me walk you through one part of our production. I talked about automation, so that's also kind of simple but essential that we have this little kind of semi-robot, so to say, which is just coiling our corrugated conduit in the needed lengths. Normally 50 meters, 30 meters, but also here, if you have a demand or a question for another length, tell us, because it's kind of, let's say, easy just to change the length, and then you can have, I don't know, 15 meters, 25 meters, whatever is needed for you. And that is one of the typical PMA approaches. We do what you need. Also, quality-wise, it is Swiss-made. We do all the plastics, which is corrugated conduits and fittings here in Uster, so it is Swiss-made. With the Swiss-madeness, I think you also expect a certain quality. And this is done with our people here in the line, which are doing regular quality checks. Like I see, not too many of them, highly automated. Of course, all this is then documented electronically, so that you can come back to us after 5 years, 7 years, whatever, some questions, whatever reason, some questions for us, and we can pull it out of the system because everybody is just noting everything in the system here. So now I walk you through our dispatch area. Yes, I forgot to mention one thing, or actually a couple of things. My colleagues just reminded me of this. And that is to give you some insight about PMA cable protection systems. PMA as a company was founded in 1975. So that's more than 45 years ago. Our founder, Mr. Lanz, at that time just was, let's say, tired of using all this metal cable protection available then and said, I have to have a simple solution. And actually, he's an engineer and also a plastic engineer. Because what we really do? We develop further the plastic. So we modify the plastic by ourselves. If you look at our conduits, they look all kind of similar, like a tube with some reels in it. But the inside makes a difference. We mix, like I was saying, we mix our plastic by ourselves, and I would say in the average of 8 to 12 ingredients are needed to manufacture a corrugated conduit which you can use in your application. That's why we have over 160 different conduits. 160. Yes, that makes it somehow complex. On the other hand, that gives you the possibility to have the right product with the right performance at the right price, at the right place. So that's what we are doing. We are here roughly 100 people. Like I was saying, we do a lot of conduits, about 300 kilometers per week. And we also do a lot of inject molded products, which are about 500,000, 500,000 pieces per week. Now let's go to our mock-up train and of our installation of rail infrastructure applications. So we are here still in the dispatch area. Before we come to our prepared room. So, this is our well-prepared room, especially for you, but not only with all the parts in here, but also in regards of Corona. And now I'm happy, because in here I can take off the mask and the glass and speak more freely, so to say, to you. Because here we made sure that we have 2 meters distance to each other, and also for the people which are also around helping us to make this movie at the end. Also, they are well equipped with the right things to make sure that the coronavirus is not going from one person to the other. So we will talk about rail infrastructure, but before we do this, let me give me the time to show you a little bit about our mock-up train. So this is our mock-up train, where we installed, like in reality, some different equipment on the outside, but also we did some jumper cables. On the roof we made all the connections. Then we go to the back of the train, where we made a panel to show one of our specialities, EMC solutions. EMC solutions today we will not touch when we talk about rail infrastructure, but I could imagine that it's not taking that long, that you will also ask for this kind of solution to make sure that the signal is not disturbing your cable, or the cable is not getting out signals into the wrong direction, so to say. If this is happening, come to us. We have ready solutions for many, many years, experience with this, so EMC is also a topic where PMA definitely can help you. About further with the train, you see we made a little wagon here where we talk about some inside application, also in the front where we talk about antennas and all these different things. And like I was saying, what we will do is then talk about rail infrastructure. Rail infrastructure. Why do we talk about rail infrastructure? And what is our experience in rail infrastructure? For this, I would like to start with a picture. And this picture will show you Switzerland, exactly not Switzerland, but the long tunnel going for the train through the Swiss mountains. It's 57 kilometers long, so that's really, really long. I think it's in the range of 40-45 miles, something like this, if we have some people looking from the US. It's 2,300 meters below the mountain, so there's a lot of pressure on it. And why did we do this? To have a faster connection between the south and the north. And in Europe, you know, there are this nice mountain called the Alps, and this we have to pass somehow. So that was really, I would really say, an engineer's great work to do something like this. We, as ABB, have been deeply involved, not only because nearly 100 years ago, BBC at that time was the company's name, was involved at that time in the tunnels, much shorter than this one, of course. No, because we have the competence and the knowledge about a lot of things you use in this kind of tunnels. Today and here we just talk about cable protection. Cable protection in the tunnel. Where do we need cable protection? It is protected in the tunnel. Principally not wrong. But you saw there were some things in the back of the tunnel you saw before, which is going down to this lamp you see above this green sign. These are the emergency lamp. And you can imagine if you're in this tunnel, 57 kilometers long, so in the middle is something like 28.5 kilometers, and if there would be no power, it's really dark. And I can tell this out of experience. Why? Because I had the pleasure to be involved in this, and also had the pleasure to see the emergency room in the middle of the whole tunnel. And they switched for us off the light. I can tell you it's scary, it's really dark. That's why it is needed, and more than needed, to have these emergency lights. In this tunnel you also have animals and other things, and that's why we decided, or they decided actually, to use gale protection. And of course gale protection of PMA. How much is in there? I think it's easy calculation if the tunnel is 57 kilometers long. On the next picture we would like to show, you also see why they choose PMA. Because we are talking again here about safety, and they want to have the most reliable and best product to be safe. Like I was saying before, safety is number one, and that's why they choose PMA. Now we would like to go into more details what we can offer to you from PMA side, and Hans-Peter will talk to you about our portfolio and about some special applications. Hans-Peter.
Thank you very much, Martin. Welcome to our live stream this afternoon. As I have mentioned yesterday already, PMA has over 6,000 individual components available in our portfolio. So this allows us, and this for various applications, and this allows us to really have right products for specific applications. Also, in our case, we talk about today rail infrastructure. Now, rail infrastructure has also been revolutionized in the recent years, also connected with rail control systems, which have been changing the train world completely. So nowadays we have systems which are capable already to have a driverless operation possible, which in different parts of the world are already running, mostly used for trains servicing airports, and in this sense trains which carry people to these kind of other transportation systems. So, from the product point of view, on PMA gale protection, we have different requirements for different applications, in this sense that part of the train control systems are basically on board on the train, and the big other part are actually on track or side track application for these train control systems, which certainly require different products. So, here, in this particular case, we are looking at the antenna on top of the train, exchanging signals to central control systems, as well as actually mounted in between the track the Eurobalise. In this case, we are talking about here the ETC systems, the European Train Control System, which here you also see, and we have built this into the train body, but actually in real life, this unit here, which is a balise reader, and which is mounted underneath on the undercarriage on the train running along the track, and also here making sure using materials which are sustainable. And in this case here, if you look at the gale protection system using the XVCSF material, first of all, material which is sustainable on the certification level which is required for this particular train, as well as have a very high impact resistance due to the fact that we have this unit mounted underneath the train. Furthermore, we have clamping systems which hold the whole harnesses in place where it actually belongs to. Another important factor is the water intrusion, which could occur if you would not have sufficient fitting capabilities. Here in the part of the IP69 Fix Pro fitting, which actually avoids any water intrusion in this particular application. What you also can see is the inlet part for this reader system is actually special made. Very often we have situations where we have to do a final connection to individual units which actually connect to our cable protection system. So this is specially made for this particular unit. There are globally different systems being used. In this case, like I say, ETCS system. Now we have prepared a movie concerning deflammability.
Before we talk to Heinz about some more applications, I have some organizational things. I forgot to mention, but my camera team was perfect as always, and you already saw it on the screen. We have here a live stream and you can ask questions. We will or can technically not take them live, but you can put them into the email. The email is pma-conduitsystems@ch.ab.com. That's pma-conduitsystems@ch.ab.com. You saw it before and you also see it now on the screen. Please put in all the questions coming up to your mind in regards of cable protection. Other questions can also send, but we will not answer them. And we try to answer the question either when we are directly on a topic here, where it fits just to this topic, or at the end, where we will do a question and answer session. The whole session in total is planned to be in the range of 40 to 50 minutes, in this range, also depending on you, how many questions you place to us. With this, I would like to give to Heinz, who will talk some more about the Eurobalise.
So hello to you, to all of you. Hans-Peter started this live stream with explaining a little bit about the train control system and the parts inside the train. So I will pick up this and we go now to the outside of the train, so the elements which are installed in the track or need to control the system, the train. We have two examples here placed on the bottom. That is the balise we already talked about. This is the right direction, how it is installed in reality. That is the yellow part here. And we have another point, this is a transponder which is directly installed on the track, or at the track itself. What are now the requirements from our customers in regards to cable protection? So as you see here, this one is installed directly in the track. So if the train goes above, then we have vibrations, we have the weathering, we have to make sure that the cable protection, the cable is not damaged by the stones where it's laying off. In the winter time, there's ice maybe, so the tracks are frozen, and has to be sure that with vibrations it's still not break. And at the end of the day, the cable protection has to reach that the life cycle of the complete cabling will be extended by, I would say, to 20-25 years in total. So the PMA cable protection system is really predestined for that. We have different conduits which we can use here, and we have different fittings which we can use. Let's start with the fitting. We go to this one here. This is a special piece we created especially for this application to ensure that the existing interface of this balise can fit to the cable protection system of PMA. So that is a special one which we designed there. And on the transponder, you see another kind of fitting. This is a 45-degree one. In this case, the best fitting to get a smooth layer or layout of the cabling in the field. The second point, of course, of a system in this case is the conduit. And what we did there is, you heard about the multilayer technology already. Since I think it was 10 to 11 years ago, we started with a multilayer conduit. I have one in my hands now. I'm not sure if you can really see it from the coloring. The inside color is green. That is only to make visible that is a multilayer one. We have outside a polyamide material, 6 or 12, which withstand UV and weathering very, very good. And I would say really the problem before we used this one is that you have to put the cable through to a rubber hose. That was common here in Europe at least. And the cable sticks after 1 meter to 2 meters, and it's really hard to get it through the length of 5 to 10 meters, for example. So what you did in practice you use talcum and blow it into this rubber hose, and it works for 2 meters, maybe 3 meters. Now with a conduit, we have not a smooth inner layer, and that has the effect that the cable is quite better, can pull through much better than in a rubber hose. And with this multi-layer technology, we received a little bit magic inside. This inner layer has a very low friction. And that means that you can pull the cable very, very easily to 5, 10, 50 meters through this conduit. And that makes life very, very easy compared before. That is the thing, I want to mention here. We have more examples in the track. In this case, we concentrate on this 2-1. And we want to show now a movie to you about the test to the compression strength, which is very important in these applications.
So, thank you for sending in all the questions. One I think is fitting exactly the topic Heinz was just sharing with us is in regards of the form. He showed 2 forms there, and now the question to Heinz. What kind of form is available from PMA?
Okay, in general we can use all the forms which we have already in our portfolio. That means in addition to these 2 ones, we have a 90-degree elbow, we have a 90-degree sharp edge one. We have fittings with including a strain relief, for examples, which we can use here as well. We have another thing which can be used in these applications as well. These are two fittings which you can use if you have a pipe, an aluminium pipe or a steel pipe, and you want to go then further with a PMA system. So you can use as well these 2 different things. So that is a wide range of products we can use here, and all belongs to the PMA Fix or the PMA Fix Pro system.
Thank you, Heinz. That was quite informative. So then let's now go for the next topic, where we will talk about, let's say, distribution boxes at the end. Here I would like to start with a picture which is showing how these distribution boxes are used next to the track. Yes, that's a typical European Alps situation, but it can also be out in the Rocky Mountains, where you see what's happening to these kind of boxes. In winter time they look like this. You even see the water in form of ice trickling down. So we have to make sure ingress protection is definitely as needed, IP66, maybe IP69. When cleaning with water stream, maybe even IP69, so to say. So this is one thing. But you know it all with the today global thing that the water can also go in from ice going into water. When it goes into water, then we have a higher temperature. So there is quite some stress on this material. So let me walk over to our distribution box we prepared here for you as kind of a mock-up, because this is now a gray one. So same thing, next to the track, sometimes quite exposed because you see it's rather high. And what do? We have the cables in there, that's why it's called distribution box. We distribute the cables. So one thing is of course the corrugated conduit. Heinz already told us, multi-layer is here the key to have it fast installed, low friction, etc. The other thing where we are more than happy to help you is with the form at the end, how you do the technical design. Here on this one, we did it with a 45-degree angle fitting to make sure that the cable smooth and soft goes out and then goes into the ground. We could also have used, like Heinz was saying, a 90-degree or whatever is needed there. Of course, we also have all the different diameters fitting to this one. What I was also talking was in regards of the ingress protection. So this is at the end for me a little bit the key, because with the ingress protection you define what kind of fitting to use. But also ingress protection you can not influence at the end, but the installation can be influenced. That's why we always try to go with the corrugated conduit in the direction of the ground. Why? Because if water is coming down here, falling on the system, it ripples just away. If I would do it upside down, so to say, the water will stay on the fitting. You saw the picture before with all this ice. And ice in plastic, I think we all tried it when we have been at school, putting water into a bottle, glass and plastic, and put into the freezer. Next morning it was exploded. So that's why it is important that this design is also, with the design we can influence the lifetime and performance of the product. Now we have been talking about installation of the corrugated conduit. What I would like to show you is now a little movie how easy it is to install the corrugated conduit, then pull the straight cable through the fitting, and then how to fix the corrugated conduit to the fitting. So let me show this by a little movie. So it was a rather long movie, and I can tell you why. Because these are our installation, manual, use, cooling, whatever you want to call it, movies. All of them are available on our YouTube channel for all the different systems that we have. And we really strongly recommend, if you have new people in your group, or if you didn't do an installation for a couple of months, which I don't hope, I hope you do it every day, but if you don't do, have a look at this movie just to refresh it, how it is to install the PMA protection system. Another thing I would like to mention, again going in the direction of the picture I showed before with this ice on it, and that is this one. Standing on the conduit. So you see my safety shoes, and you saw how heavy I am. So that is definitely something which is happening quite often. It's laying on the side of the track, people walk there, maybe animals, it's also possible, so an elk or something else is standing on this kind of corrugated conduit. We make sure that our multilayer technology makes it possible that also this force is well absorbed. How do we do this? Let me show a little movie. So, you saw this movie. For me, it's quite impressive how this metal rod is jumping up and down on the corrugated conduit, and the conduit frozen down to minus 40 degrees. Sorry, I don't know it in Fahrenheit if you are from the US, but it's really, really cold. In Switzerland, we get temperature as low as minus 30, in this range, minus 40. I don't remember when last time we had minus 40 in Switzerland. It's very rare, I would say. But we test always, so to say, over the limit, and that's why we tested this with minus 40 degrees. So now I would like to give the word to Heinz to talk about some more cable protection solutions on a side track application.
Yeah, hello again. We have some more applications nearby the track where cables are installed in reality. We have put here an example which is normally installed on a mast where the overline is fixated on top of it. So you have, in this case, we show a cable protection system for the feeding cable of the overhead line. Let's go a little bit more in detail. You see, in reality, it's 3 meter long, or has to be 3 meters long, this cable protection conduit here. This is a very stiff one, because you can imagine if it's really on the track here, beside the track, and there are fast trains going around, then you have some pressure here as well, those pressure impulses on that. So it has to withstand not only the conduit, but itself the fixations. What we did in the fixation, I will show you a little bit more in detail. We have the BGPS out of our standard portfolio, and you might see it here in this case. Put it this way round. We have here a kind of a very long nut with for a threaded rod which you can pull in here with an M16 size. Why M16 size? And the M16 size is very often used here in Europe. It's a common interface, I would say, between the mast itself and the installations, the products which will be installed on the mast. This is, by the way, stainless steel, so it should have a life expectancy at least as long as our cable protection system. The next thing that we used here in this case, you see it on top of this conduit. That's this piece here. You can imagine as well if it's like installed like this one, it has to be tight and sealing against water or against some little bits and pieces, some small enemies, and to ensure that there's no water in the system. Like Martin said, you can imagine what happens then. So it's sealed on this one. In this case, it is not used. This piece here is a so-called cold shrink sleeve. So that means cold shrink means that you do not need any warm air, any heat to shrink it down. It's working like this one. I have an example here. So I do it other way around. So that is the sleeve, the black one. The white one is a plastic which you can which expand this sleeve. And if you pull in this direction, maybe you can see that. It getting somewhere, you put it out of the sleeve, and at the end of the day, if this white one is gone, then it collapsed to the conduit, and on the other hand, on the other side, to the cable. And that is what we mentioned here. So this is a very safe installation method. So there's no possibility to burn the cable protection conduit or to burn the cable. And it's, on the other hand, very, very fast, especially in winter times. You need some minutes to get it shrink by hot air, and this one takes only a few minutes. Then go a little bit around there. We have another application we call the mast mounting switching drive here in this case. The requirements to the cable protection system is more or less the same than on the other one, because it's installed on the same place. What is special here? It's not the conduit we already talked about. In this case here, underneath the box, we use as well the PMA Fix or PMA Fix Pro fittings. But there's a big hole in this one in this casing here, and you see the small size of the conduit. So what we did, We used a small plate of stainless steel, make a small hole in it, have 2 other holes, and the other holes can be ensured that you can screw it here underneath, and it's very easy to install and very quick to install. Everything is there on the installation side, what is needed. So we selling this one as one part. So we put not only the PMA parts in one kit, as well the lock nut and the stainless steel one. And there's more or less the same here as well. It's another size, but the principle is the same. And this, the last thing I want to mention today is, maybe you see it here already, that as well the conduits here are fixed to this mast. And this is not possible only using the BFH from the PMA portfolio. You need something in between, another interface. And what we did here is we looked for a metal clamp, and this metal clamp will be delivered as well from us if you want as one piece. And this clamp ensures a proper installation here on the mast. So that's the thing we want to mention, and because we talked before about compression strength, in this case it's more important the weathering resistance, what we said, and the stiffness of the products. And we want to show now a small movie to you about how we test the weathering properties of this system.
So this has been the detailed information about this rail infrastructure on track, side track, and even partly in the train information we wanted to share with you. Nero, my colleague here, he's our technical sales supporter. He actually he was managing the questions, and I got 5 questions in total from you which you would like to tackle right now. One about approvals, one about repair things, one about holding systems, one about strain relief, and one about the set application, this kind of things. Let's go one by one. Maybe Hans-Peter, you want to talk about the approval part?
Yes, thank you very much, Martin. Approvals. I mean, we have approvals required by certification levels and also by qualifications concerning the material performance and basically handling the overall requirement we have on our applications. There is a fine line between material performance and also on one hand, and on the other hand, the qualification on resistance and fire resistance, for example, meaning that certification levels have to be reached in order to qualify for individual applications. So here we have really people working with us. They're concerned about material development, also concerned about the certification levels, and important to know is that PMA actually works with materials on the chemical side as well as on the material situation on certification levels which are required by official bodies.
Good, thank you, Hans-Peter. The next one I would like to give to Heinz. Repair. Are there repair solutions available? What do I do if something is broken? I assume if it is broken, it's definitely not from PMA, but that's another topic. Repair solution. Can you tell us about repair solution, Heinz?
Yes, I can. We have for repair works, we can propose this kind of product here. That is a divisible system, out of the divisible system, which you can use here as well, quite good. It's available in different sizes, of course, so you can cover this one we have here, and you as well, go to the other direction, you can cover as well this sizes here. So that can be used, of course. It will not have the to be honest, the IP rate of IP68 anymore. I think you can imagine that. But you get here a very good mechanical protection, and that is sometimes, sometimes enough and sometimes suitable for the situation.
Thank you, Heinz. And now I will also do some work and not only let the other work. Nira was so kind to prepare me the things I need to answer the next question in regard of holding system. What do we have of holding system? They heard something about the new system available by PMA. You know this system, which was installed also on the mess, where you put in the corrugated conduit, you close it, and it's done. Very robust, so also kind of not heavy, but very robust. You can also make some safety screws in there, so you cannot open it by accident or so. So that's the well-known holding system that we have. Heinz also showed, thank you Niro, also showed this system, where we have now from small to bigger ones, where we showed with this metal adapter, which is kind of a more light version. We strongly recommend to use it like in this kind of application on the mast, like Heinz was showing. Now the question about the new system, and that is this one actually. And yeah, we are quite proud, and I'm happy that this question was coming. What did we do? We had about 2 years of developing, and at the end of tool manufacturing, etc., etc. And I would say 90–95% of the products are now available. Why only 90 or 95? And I talk already about this. Because we made a holding system containing 1, 2, 3, and 4 places for corrugated conduits and or cables. So you can hold whatever you want, if it's a corrugated conduit or it is a cable. How did we do this? We made it kind of at the end, when you have it in your hand, it's kind of simple. So we have this holding system, this is size 36. Then we use this kind of little hard plastic, PA6, with an EN 45545 hazard level 3 approval. We use this kind of inlet, I would say like an onion system, and put it in there to reduce the diameter. So if I have 36, I can go down to 29. If you'd like to go down to 23, another layer of onion goes in there. If you go down to 17, another one. So I can really adjust according to my needs. Same thing, and that is more rubbery. You see it's quite of soft, so to say. It's kind of a rubber material. Same system. We put it also in here. Depends on the diameter of your cable, and then you can put in the cable. All this you can pre-install. Sorry, I have to switch this to, doesn't matter. And then you can pre-install and just put everything together, and it is installed. So it's really simple, and like I was saying, from 1 till 4, so you can decide what you need and what you have. What we also did is not only that it's so universal, we also really worked strong on the weight and on the diameter, on the weight and on the dimension of it. So this is at the moment the smallest and lightest available holding system we have on the market, not only from PMA, but on the market. So if you want to have more details, on our homepage you will find this. Now there have been some more questions, and I have to take my book, sorry. And strain relief was a topic. I think it was something written here. I think something, I have long cables, how do I make sure that they have a strain relief? Hans-Peter, do we have something to do strain relief applications?
Yes, certainly. I mean, strain relief applications, especially in dynamic situations, we have to use this kind of strain relief protection, actually to really protect the end pins in the connectors in order to have a permanent electrical contact in our system. This really helps to have a long life system working in this kind of sense. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Hans-Peter. So again, come to us. We have different solutions for strain relief, multi-holes, etc., etc. I always recommend talk to our people wherever you are, because in most of the countries on this planet, we have either an ABB you can talk to, and more often even a partner. What we do, we train these people deeply
It was a little bit difficult the last 12 months to do this virtually, but we really trained them deeply so that if you have questions, I'm confident most of them can be directly answered from our experts in the country. The last question I noted down we got in was in regard of all the nice things Heinz was showing with a metal plate and a lot of stuff which is all installed. Do I have to order this piece by piece or how is this working? What do you have, Heinz?
Okay. I will start with this one here. This is a cable protection system for the feeding cable. What you see here, you can order it as one kit if you want. So we put together 5 meters of this conduit. We put 5 of this clamps to each other, to this package. And as well, you see it here, the cold shrink sleeves are one is at the top and the other one is underneath the earth. Both of them are included as well in the kit. So if you want, you can buy only one kit and have all the things on shelf.
Thank you very much. So now we are coming to an end. If you have more questions, use this address we showed you before, because that's our address to place questions directly here at PMA Uster in Switzerland. And Nero, our technical sales support man, which I was talking before, is more than happy to answer them. And be sure, if you send it in the right way, meaning if you send it to this address, we will make sure that the golden rule of PMA is used. The golden rule means 1 working day and you will get an answer. Sometimes we cannot answer a question completely, but at least then you get an answer. That's the principal answer, and then we extend it if needed and give you the date when the final answer is coming. So what's happening now? Now we will of course upload this movie. It's live, so it's already uploaded, so to say, on YouTube. So if you want to re-look at some of the specialities, please have a look at the movie. But furthermore, I would emphasize the point, talk to us however you want, by email, by phone. Use our local people because they can really help you to make the right choice in regards of cable protection. So thank you for listening to us. I hope you learned some more things, or at least refreshed some things. And thank you and have a good weekend.